Hello guys and gals, I'm Andrew. Welcome to today's video. For this, I'm going to use some Spryzen Requiem S3 setup because it has been one of my favorite burst blades at all time. The reason why I keep it in a right spin defense mode because I want to make it entertaining as long as it still spins from a left spin base like Luinor L3 Destroy. First to get a 5 points, he is like a winner, and this is how I want to share this video with you, and this is how I call this Requiem Project Test Battles. This is why I call this video Requiem Project Test Battles. Once again, I'm going to keep it a right spin mode with a defense tip, and this is how I command this first of a test battles of the same name. And not to mention I'm going to two pictures during the Beyblade battle in this video. So without further ado, let's talk about the two pictures about Luinor L3 inspiring this guy during the first test Beyblade battle. So okay guys, I'm back with the BB10 Stadium. Because of this, I will put out my original Switch Drive unboxing videos that I originally made 3 years ago. I'll do the same thing to Galaxis Pegasis W105R2F or Galaxis Pegasis W105R2F or Galaxis Pegasis, as you name it. That's the blade that is a part of the Galaxis Pegasis DX Set beside this stadium. You're welcome to pause this video whatever you feel like it. Otherwise, we shall talk about the two pictures of Luinor L3 inspiring Spryzen Requiem S3 in the first place. It is because of their Takara Tomy counterparts way back about I think about 4 years ago, I guess. So here goes a round one. Luinor L3, let it go. And as you can see, the differences between the I set Spryzen Requiem S3 in the right spin defense mode, and this is how Luinor L3 is in the left rotation bay, causing Spryzen Requiem S3 to knock out. What I mean to say that Luinor L3 must have an extended Spryzen Requiem S3 was such a one hit. This is why I set my favorite launcher golden version into the left spin mode. Unlike my first copy, I have a second copy but from Josie Achilles that can cause Luinor L3 fell off. And here's how it goes. That is like a poor launcher when you launch it hard. Watch. Whoa. And I think it is like a slow launch. That is a weak launch. So I guarantee my second copy of my favorite launcher is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. And look at this. Just the only solution you can try pull soft like this. And I really love it. And I guess I really love it very much. I highly recommend against a pulley handle hard disk on Josie Achilles launcher. Here's why. So I thought it could exit the BB10 Stadium, but instead it gives the Luinor L3 with launcher because its slots are so very big, so pretty much so much bigger for tabs to handle. And here's a proof. Whoa! And this is how it jumped out to the stadium by default. So I'm going to use my first copy of my favorite launcher instead. And this is Long Bay Launcher LR. So I like to go the version instead for the Luinor L3 because the slots are not good enough for my Chelsea Achilles launcher of the same name. So here's a proof. It's not totally worth it. Like I said, no, that's not going to worth it. I think the slots are bigger. Yeah, that slots are so big. It's so big for tabs to handle. Like watch. So I'm going to use this to give Spryzen Requiem S3 96 potential speed and power. Round 2 starts. Luinor L3, let it quit. Oh my goodness, I gave it a poor launch. Sorry, my bad. It doesn't count. It doesn't count launch. So here's what we left up, and that is it because the left rotation layer, it has the like 4 dragon upper heads or upper jaws made of metal that can give them massive hits. So the metal heads represent the slots, and sometimes it cannot be good for all launchers that I have so far in my life when it comes to burst format. That is it because slots are like bigger for Chelsea Achilles LR, which is my favorite model from Takaro Tomy launchers. This is it because every time you try to launch, and I think it causes it to knock and exit the stadium like a accident, or maybe I did any intentional. Still, slots are bigger than the tabs of Chelsea Achilles launcher can handle. That is it because the slots are so big. These slots are bigger for this launcher to handle, like I said earlier, but I don't care because I get so excited for the Requiem Project Test Battles. And this is how it fell off the tabs. So every time you try and this doesn't work. That's how I say about the 2 upper dragon heads with orchid or red-violet plastic material on their lower jaws, and that is to get under every time it gets bigger hits, and when it reaches its limit, that means it bursts. It's like a opposing Beyblade takes a win by burst finish against Luinor L3. The other 2 heads are the transparent color, and that is it's not that color. It's just like a cloudy plastic, unlike a Takaro Tomy. And this is swirling around the Luinor motif, or Luinor is the initial that we already talked about on my original Luinor L3 that I recorded 3 years ago. So this is how we start with round 3 about how Luinor L3 inspires Spryzen Requiem S3 in the first place, as we already talked about the 2 pictures. So we'll talk about the Spryzen Requiem side. That is like a round 3. So, oh, Luinor L3. Oh, the major purpose is to give a massive hit. By contrast, Spryzen Requiem has like a metal medallion that is like thinner than Takara Tomy, and it can be impossible. Impossible for rest of the burst base so far in the generation can burst it. That is unless some base are like worthy of bursting this guy, and I think at a first release, the slopes are like so kind of like fun, not too brutally much. So that's how it is thinner, and used to be the disqualified components until we got to the release of the Josie's Spryzen, and I thinking about either winter 2018 or the January 18, which is the kind of the same thing. And that's how the WBO started to legalize the Takara Tomy and Hasbro Spryzen Requiem layers, as it is right now. Of course, we cannot change modes on our recent Spryzen layers, excluding Spryzen S1 and Spryzen S2, until the Beyblade battle is over during tournaments, and that's it. Round 4 starts. Luinor L3, let's play. And yeah, so speaking of the mode change, the medallion is on is of course, which means the left spin gimmick that is infused with the right spin gimmick into the dual spin gimmick. When opponents have the left spin base, you can change it into the left spin for your Spryzen Requiem and other recent Spryzen layers, like I said earlier, and that is in the exclusive Spryzen S1 and Spryzen S2. Nevertheless, Spryzen Requiem S3 and other recent Spryzen layers are like a Spryzen evolutionary line. More like a Spryzen evolutionary family lineage. That's being said about the Spryzen Requiem S3's dual gimmick that you can turn the right to left. Only your opponents may have a right rotation base, but you can do the same thing right after left spin base hold by your opponents. So this is what I think about doing the left spin gimmick against the Luinor L3. So still I'm going to keep it the right spin mode defense. That can give it a nicest chance. Otherwise, this battle will be over. Round 5. Oh yes! At least it's too late for Luinor L3. This Spryzen will make a comeback. Round 7 starts. Oh, I missed it. Round 8 starts. Luinor L3, let's flip. Oh, I think the Luinor L3 has better make a comeback. The score is 5-1. Oh! Oh! Your winner here is Luinor L3 Destroy in the first test battle. And this what leaves Fafner F3 8-0 to be its second opponent. Spryzen Requiem S3, that is. Before I start the second test battle, I'm going to set my Zeta driver into attack. Like this. Round 1 start. Ooh! Look at this! First 1 point goes to Spryzen. And yes. Round 2 starts. Oh! So, when it comes to Fafner F3's nicest ability on its layer, it has a 3 rubber material that can help the steel spin. That can help steel spins from opposing base who are mostly right rotation. And I don't think it can handle all the left rotation base opposing this guy. So the left rotation base, right rotation base could be also needed to be targeted. Just like the Spryzen Requiem S3 0 Zeta in the right attack mode. Right spin attack mode. Round 3 starts. It's all pretty good. Oh man, not again. Not again. Ever since the previous battle. Man, why did I get it mixed up? Maybe I should have been sleeping more. Round 4 starts. Oh! 2-2-1. 2-2-1. And yeah, every time you launch Fafner F3 against your opponent's right rotation base, this means it can still spins akin to the similar gimmick from Meteor L3 from Metal Fight Saga. Meteor L3. So here's watch. Round 5 start. Oh wow! This BB10 is amazing. With my favorite long B launcher LRs. And I bet there would be the one out there too. Big launchers, whatever I please, to get the about my 26th birthday, probably. Round 6 starts. Whoa! Look at that. Whoa! Well, barely 4-2-1 that is. And now we're going to talk about another gimmick that's on his driver. Round 7 starts. Every time you launch it so hard, that's when you spring will spring up. And I think it is going to aggressive and it goes up. Whoa, look at that. Spryzen Requiem must have unexpectedly helped Fafner F3 to perform shock jump. And wow, so intense. This is how the Fafner gets come back. 4-2. That's just like a referee say from the last episode of Beyblade Burst Evolution. And Spryzen is like a burst coordinated to bursting. Same thing goes to Fafnir. Round 8 starts. Whoa, look at this. Talking about oh wow, this score is 4-3. Ooh, Fafnir is making a comeback at last. Round 9 starts. Every time you launch it so hardest, nothing will like imagine itself to break limit, and that is to hop a little bit unless Spryzen will currently hit it so hard. And also sometimes it became a little bit like semi-aggressive it's expecting like the attack, and thus Fafnir takes the win. Final round starts. Oh, get to Yuki success. And oh, there we have it. Spryzen Requiem wins. So I didn't mean to get it carried away because when I grabbed it, my Spryzen Requiem burst because of the pressure, I guess. And yes, that's going to be it for the second test battle. Your winner here is Spryzen Requiem S3 Zeta, and the reason why I already switched it back to defense mode, as you can see right after the final round. This is because I'm going to switch it into the left spin. And as we already talked about, for those of you who may or may not properly know, you're welcome to use a dual threat, and also of course, a long bay launcher LR. Same goes with Ripcord from Hasbro. It can be from the Riptide, a Cobblers Blade Set, Galaxis X3, Switch Strike, Slingshot, Hybrid Spear, and not to mention Speedstorm. Most Hasbro Ripcords has a plug on their back, so you're welcome to use one of the ways to switch mode from right to left, since Fafnir is a left rotation bay like Luinor L3 is, and that's how it does. This is how it does, because most Takara Tomoe has the openings, 2 openings, that you have to be very careful while switching modes on this layer. And this is how it's done, and this is how the also we already talked about the 2 rubber materials representing the white helmet of Spryzen. That is because it can still spin much like a Fafnir F3 do, but since it has the 2 rubbers on it, I don't think it's quite enough, and it cannot do it can't do very that much of a hard work of a single spin, so much like a Fafnir F3, Media El Drago Guardian, El Drago Destroys, El Drago Destructor, and finally I think that's from the Fusion Hades from Takara Tomy, and that's being said, and we will talk about the how nothing it bears similar with Zeta, and also the double D from Metal Fight, which stands for Delta Drive. Stage 3, Genesis Factory Phase 3, 6 Vortex Reboot. That is from the Star Storm Battle set, and I think it is. I think about the triple pack that comes with the same Beyblade, its Galaxis 3, and Hasbro Burst version of Drasil. Let the third test battle begin. Round 1 starts. And as you can notice, whoa! Finally, since it is defense mode, it's a good chance to allow Galaxis to knock it against the wall and reboot the kit in. So, Spryzen Requiem S3 has 2 rubbers of materials that can help absorb spin. Steel spin. Like, this is how I say about 2 rubber material from Spryzen Requiem S3 layer. Round 2 starts. And Sata made somewhat fair resemblance to nothing, but there's no spring material on the Sata driver. That is much like the spring attack from Genesis Foundry and Ice, also nothing driver. This is how I say about the spring picture. Spring attack from Genesis